What I'd like to do right now is provide a little bit of an overview of the NOC service in general, and then we'll get into some specifics on all the different services that we offer. But the first one is really the installation of remote monitoring and management, the ability to have an RMM tool that is deployed at your customer locations and provides a proactive monitoring service so that we can start to identify the health of your servers and your network devices and other devices that can be remotely managed. So that's a critical component of what we're talking about here. Another thing we want to really be clear about is this is a device-based solution. So you may have an environment that has 50 endpoints on one customer, but maybe they really only want to monitor and manage 20 of those. So you have the ability to select the specific devices that you want to manage, and as you'll see, we have these two different levels of service between watch and manage. You can have one set of devices on the watch level of service and then some other devices that are on the fully managed levels of service. So the goal here is really to provide you the ability to sell a device-based NOC service or a device-based help desk service on any devices that you need to within the infrastructure. We do provide support for pretty much any well-known RMM and PSA tool. Right now, the focus is Kaseya and ConnectWise, but if you're using other tools and you want support for that, we certainly support a wide variety. I mentioned some of the other ones a minute ago, including LPI, LabTech, Enable, as well as Autotask and other PSA tools as well. So our goal is to be a vendor-agnostic NOC that can support the tools that you use and the tools that you have in your environment. We don't want to come at you and shove a specific tool down your throat if it's not what you've already invested in and not what's part of your business model. So let me give a high-level description of the difference between watch and manage, and you'll see this get played out in the next few slides as we talk about the specific services. But watch is really for an MSP that has their own resources that are going to be remediating and fixing problems. So the watch service is taking away the need for your staff to monitor the environment and pay attention to all these alerts that are coming in and having to validate, are they a real alert, is it a false alert, what's going on in the environment, I need to triage this thing. So the watch service is really providing the monitoring of the environment and then validating alerts that come in, and then if a particular alert is identifying a real problem, we will then escalate that alert as defined by a joint escalation matrix that we'll create with you during the onboarding process. So you may have, during different shifts or different times, we may escalate alerts to different people, or based on the nature of the alert, if it's a network-related problem, we may escalate to one person. If it's a server-related problem, we may escalate to someone else. But the key is here that we are making sure we have a real problem, and then we are escalating it to your team so that you can provide the troubleshooting and the fixing. And then under all these services, you're definitely having a preventative maintenance level service. So on a desktop, for an example, it might be updating the antivirus definition files. It could be updating the operating system and patching that as necessary. Same thing on the server. We're going to be patching the OS. We're going to be making changes to Active Directory from a maintenance perspective. We may be paying attention to the hard drive space and determining when that starts to hit thresholds. We're going to notify you about those kinds of things. So it's basically maintaining the health of these systems and making sure that if anything is starting to put up some red flags, that we identify those and we either fix them through an ongoing maintenance operation, or we let you know about it so that you can take some kind of an action if that's required. Now the managed service is a superset of watch. So everything we do on watch, we also do on manage, but the big difference is that when it comes to a problem, instead of escalating that problem to your team, which we do on the watch service, on the managed service we escalate it inside of our NOC. So it's now going from one of our level 1 engineers to a level 2 or a level 3 engineer that is going to go troubleshoot the problem and provide remediation and ultimately root cause analysis so that we can fix the actual cause of the problem and not just be able to fix the symptom of it. If there's need for third-party vendor coordination, so let's say you have maintenance contracts with various vendors that are involved with providing the infrastructure, we can open up tickets with those people, we can coordinate support through those vendors, and that's all the kind of stuff that you're going to see on the managed service. And all of that are things that we can do based on the onboarding process and what level of third-party support you may want us to provide. So at the highest level, that is the breakdown of the two services. Now I'd like to ask one more polling question, and that's to get a bit of a feel for how you're delivering managed services today. And really what we're trying to figure out here is, are you new to this game so that you're not really delivering managed services today and you're mostly still in this break-fix model? Or are you delivering it with all internal resources, so you do deliver some managed service but it's being done with your own team? Or are you doing it with an outsourced partner where you actually have a third-party provider that's providing NOC services for you today, or some kind of a hybrid where you have partially leveraging a partner and partially doing it with internal resources? So if you would, go ahead and just spend a couple minutes and let us know what your current state of managed service delivery is, and I think that'll help us target the presentation as we go as well.